thing is that everyone was like really dressed up and it made a big effort to like be in the time period.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Secrets. There was
So many secrets.
rivalries. There was dances.
Good evening, debutantes of the ton. My name is Momo O'Brien. I make videos about immersive experiences, and I think dogs should vote!
I think dogs should vote! I think dogs should be able to vote. I think dogs should be able to vote!
So, who wants some exposition? I am in immigration limbo with my partner for the time being.
So I am in the UK right now. We just had a picnic in February. Hello.
Wow.
No, there's donuts in there. No!
I spent a few months in the UK with him and his family and had to learn that crack on, and having the crack are all completely different slang terms. I have grown an attachment to Weetabix and squash.
Note to viewers, this is squash. You do not drink this straight. You're meant to add it with water.
I have had a cheeky chicken katsu at Nando's.
No.
What?
It's Cheeky Nando's and the
Cheeky
chicken katsu
Nando's?
is from Wagamama's.
Oh my god.
His mom made me minced pies for Christmas. We welcomed in the new year with a Scottish tradition.
Get out of here, spirits of the old year.
Go on in.
Oh, hey, you found the place. Thank God. Come on in.
I got to know Matt's home life and their family.
All swallow, don't chew.
No, always chew.
Oh no.
I went to a birthday party in a bar where apparently historically pirates were taken for their last drink before being sent to the gallows. And there I hung out with a bunch of players from Empire, a huge LARP in the UK.
I know very little. I haven't done any research about the lore or anything, but I did have a good chuckle when I heard that horses don't exist. I God ate them all.
But for a week, I caught COVID. It was awful. Please stay safe. I would not recommend it. Now, my body already hates me, so the first day I was in so much pain I couldn't even keep my eyes open, but day 2 I was able to watch TV and do not much else. So I used that time to binge Netflix's Bridgerton. Bridgerton follows the family Bridgerton in an alternate version of Regency London. The widowed mother, Violet Bridgerton, the strong-willed Eloise Bridgerton, and the belle of the ball, Daphne Bridgerton, whose bangs bothered me so much. They're just so short. And she can pull it off because she's gorgeous, but I know if I got those bangs, I would look like the guy from Dexter's Lab.
Mandark.
But I can't judge for bangs being too short. I had a particularly bad mental health day a few days before my debut as well, so. They also have 3 brothers, who I could not tell apart for the life of me. They just look like Regency Jonas Brothers. Remember this, because this is actually going to come up later. Straight up, I thought there was only 2 Bridgerton brothers for the longest time because they all look exactly the same to me. I was actually able to get Matt to watch a couple episodes of this with me because apparently the oldest brother, Anthony, voices a character in Final Fantasy XIV.
Grahatir at your service.
Who is my boyfriend's boyfriend. The series follows all of these characters as they go on their own fancy adventures, but mainly Daphne, who has prepared her whole life for debutanting and promenading and was thought to be the diamond of the season, but falls short on suitors. Not a very relatable inciting incident. Couldn't be me. Long line of suitors at my door, eagerly awaiting to call me a bitch upon rejection. Also, something I felt worthy of noting. I remember back when the Bridgerton trailer launched, everybody online was like, a Regency drama with people of color! And that was one of the big selling points for me too. And I started watching it, and it was just a Regency drama with people of color. And I was having a good time, enjoying the rare diversity in this period drama. And then like a few episodes in, these characters are having a conversation.
I understand that you believe such subjects as love and devotion, affection and attachment, you find it all trite and frivolous. But have you any idea those very things are precisely what have allowed a new day to begin to dawn in this society? Look at our queen. Look at our king. Look at their marriage. Look at everything it is doing for us.
And in the context, I thought she was gonna be like, oh yeah, the king and queen like don't love each other very much.
We were two separate societies, divided by color, until a king fell in love with one of us.
Oh, so not only were they living in a racist society, maybe a couple of decades ago, they were living in a segregated society. But everybody changed their minds, I guess. And listen, I'm not gonna pretend that I am wise nor educated nor unprivileged enough to know where to draw the line between letting people of color see themselves in a historical aesthetic without being triggered, or completely erasing oppression from an era of history that it is fraught with. But it did take me by surprise. The show had a much different vibe from that point on.
Did you think I wanted to come here? To be around people like you? So out of touch, so superior.
So, thought I'd give you a heads up. I have not seen season 2, which has just been released. It might be a few more years before I do. I am not up to date with current goings-on in pop culture. I don't think I ever will be. I refuse. Overall, it's a fun little Regency romp. The music and costumes give it a fun Knight's Tale-esque edge to it, and we do love a good romance plot and complicated characters. My final rating? It's alright. Anyway, so I feel like my phone might have been listening to me watching Bridgerton, because suddenly my Pinterest kept on showing me these ads for the Secret Cinema Bridgerton event. And I know that people in the comments are going to be like, Momo, your whole thing's immersive experience, blah, blah, blah. I did not see these ads until I had watched Bridgerton. And in my fevered state, I bought 2 tickets. The Secret Cinema has been on my experience bucket list for the longest time. They've done a Stranger Things event, Blade Runner, Dirty Dancing was another one they were doing around the same time. And because their whole thing is it's secret, I didn't know much about what exactly it was, but what I had seen and heard looked and sounded amazing. Even when I bought the tickets, they didn't tell us exactly where the event was, basically just what train station to get off at and what time to arrive. There was also different times to arrive, so I had some friends that were set to arrive like 15 minutes before me. I think they wanted to stagger our entrances.
So I just went through an email and they asked me to register, and the first question was like, choose your arrival date, and I thought it was gonna be all practical, but they're asking me for my backstory? So we have to choose how our family began this great adventure. One of the options is adventure and triumph on the high seas, which sounds dope. And then what is our family motto?
So the more emails I got for this event, the more I started realizing, is this just a LARP?
So I'm gonna choose country living in this green and pleasant land, because that sounds very cottagecore, right up my alley. And then for our family motto, I'm going to choose intimate and serene, because that sounds so soft.
Like, my expectations for this was it was just gonna be like a Bridgerton themed party, but I had a character name and backstory and Regency D&D class.
You have been chosen to be a rabbit. Now choose your name. Michael, Margaret, or Morgan? I guess we're going with Margaret. Okay, so I guess my name is Margaret Beaumont, Jewel of Secrets. And then you have to commission a portrait.
The character backstory was like super basic, but you did have the freedom to get as into it as you wanted. Like, I fully could have been like, hello, I am Lady Margaret from the Dominion of Canada. I was born on a boat holding a parasol and raised in the finishing schools of the mountains. My only passions are painting, crocheting, and lovemaking. Or I could have been like, hey, I'm Momo. It was fun being Lady Margaret for a night, though. Lady Margaret. Lady Margaret. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Could have sworn this video had a sponsor. Who are you? I am you, but fancier. And they were like, what do I call you? Because this is the first of these like skit things that like, do I call you Momo too? You may address me as Lady Momo of Scotland. We're Canadian. Yes. But thanks to established titles, we are now Lady Momo. Established titles allows you to buy at least 1 square foot of dedicated land in Ardale, Aberdeenshire, Scotland. And based on a historic custom for Scottish landowners, become a laird, or lord and lady, as we say in English. You even get an official certificate with a crest and a unique plot number so you can know the exact location of your land.
I don't know. It seems like a pretentious thing to buy for yourself.
My dude, we both know you could use the ego boost, and you've bought less effective things when you've needed serotonin.
Yeah, you leave my Sims expansion pack addiction out of this.
Established titles lets you officially change your prefix to Lord or Lady on your dating profiles, plane tickets, even on your credit card. Consider it an act of self-love, self-care, or one hell of a conversation starter. And if you don't want it for yourself, it's a perfect gift for a regal loved one, a grand gesture to show how much you revere and respect them. An easy last-minute gift, too. They even have a couples package with a joined land for an anniversary or Valentine's Day. And if you would like just a taste of the joy that established titles can bring a loved one, may I present an official lairdship certificate to Lady Lucy of Scotland. That's right. Lady Lucy is an official Scottish landowner. Lady Lucy. And I would ask you kindly to refer to her as such in the comments moving forward. That's right. If you don't have a friend that would like an official title, you can put it in their pet's name. Okay, that is amazing. Still feels a little shallow. My god, you drive a hard bargain. Well, it's not just a title, it's good for the environment too. Established Titles works with charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. For every order placed, they plant a tree in an effort to support global reforestation. Okay, that's a good cause, but I don't really know if it's in the budget right now. You exhaust me. It's a good thing we have a coupon code. I do? Yes, Established Titles is having a big Established Titles is having a big sale right now, and if you use the code MOMO10 at checkout, you get an additional 10% off. Okay, you know what? I see very little downside here. Me neither. We're the same person. No, I'm you, but fancier. I thought we'd been over this. Okay, I'm gonna get back to editing now. Oh yeah, farewell. Bye. So I'm in bed, and I've gotten an email from the friends of Lady Whistledown. The Lady Whistledown.
Oh my god,
The Lady Whistledown! And the first button says, discover your dress code. And I'm like, dress code? I have a carry-on worth of clothes. Where? And then the next button is purchase your outfit. So the costume purchasing is a thing I wish more events would do. I have been to events that allow you to rent costumes and props, events that give out costume pieces like uniforms, and the rare event that gives you a complete costume. A lot of events, though, place the responsibility of making their event look the way they want on the people paying them to be there, often leaving them with no resources to pay for a costume out of their pocket that comes with a long list of do's and don'ts dictated by the organizers. And don't get me wrong, I love making costumes. I love designing original looks, I love making them myself, I love fitting myself into a different world. I'm not even against having strict constraints if there's a specific aesthetic you want, but I don't think it's even in organizers' best interest to rely on every single player having a proper costume in their budget, skill set, or closet. It can be really discouraging or alienating for new or underprivileged players, but also, this is your event that they're providing aesthetics for, so it is in your best interest to make your event look as good as it possibly can. And part of that is providing resources like this. It does not have to be a full-blown online shop where you can buy or rent costumes. I wish more events at the very least would link a makeup tutorial for how they wanted their players to look, but also allowing them enough room to play in their budget, style, and comfort level. Really, the only thing that felt like a restriction was these D&D Regency classes. It looks like they have different factions that you can shop. Okay, so we have stags, top hat, rabbits, fancy, cats, theater kid, foxes,
or tough guy?
I'm going to go with rabbits because that's just the pastel one. You are intelligent, quick-witted, and know your own mind. You get a +2 to dexterity. They expect a demure and naive flower, so with a disarming smile, that is just what you give them. Yes, please.
And those really felt like more of a prompt, like if you wanted a more specific direction. Like I'm sure if somebody showed up in like an AC/DC t-shirt, they would have been pulled to the side. I don't know what would have happened after that. They might have been asked to leave. They might have been given some temporary costuming. They might have had a duel to the death. I don't know. But I didn't see anybody showing up in civvies.
My favorite thing is that everyone was like really dressed up and it made a big effort to like be in the time period.
Yeah. Like I saw a woman in a full hoop skirt, like the kind of skirt that you couldn't wear in certain hallways. I saw historically accurate gowns and intricate wigs and top hats. Love a good top hat. But I would also walk by what seemed like a very drunk bachelorette party, all wearing very modern bridesmaids dresses.
Yeah. We both made our dresses.
You made them both? And all these people were having the time of their lives. Part of what drew me to this event was seeing everybody post their looks beforehand online, and it ranged from full cosplays to selkie dresses to whatever somebody had in their closet. And none of it broke my immersion to see it, because you can only break the limitations that you set for a world. And in this world, drunk bridesmaids can hang out with a fully decked out Duke of Hastings.
Okay, well, I'm going with rabbits for sure. VIP. Oh, we're not VIPs. We're just regulars. Oh, sweet. It's gender neutral. That's cool. Cute.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm filming. Okay. $14 for a ribbon. Okay. They do have gloves though, which is something that I wanted, and that is a very cute dress.
I do have a gorgeous Regency era costume made by Costumes by Miranda that I wore to Armistice Arcane, the Penny Dreadful LARP. But that was back home in Canada, sitting in storage. And what I had available to me at Matt's was a nice blue dress that I packed, I don't know, in case of emergencies. Because of the lax restrictions, I wasn't stressed out, hoping to make it more Bridgerton for the event or whatever. But I am very extra. So I thought it would make it look a little more Regency if I had white gloves. So Matt and I took a trip down to Camden Market. My understanding of Camden Market is it is to London what Kensington Market is to Toronto. It's meant to be this like cool, edgy, alternative, artsy center of the city, but has become expensive and gentrified because of tourism. And yet, despite that, you still don't want to be there after sundown. I might be wrong. I have been told I'm not. And I remember seeing a lot of like steampunk-esque stuff there, so I thought I might be able to find like a corset or stays. But while I was hoping for something a little more cottagecore, what I ended up finding was a lot of MCR-esque costumes. We did find a very typical costume store though. When the lady was like, hey, what are you looking for? And we're like, oh, we're going to the Secret Cinema Bridgerton thing. She was like, oh, well, we have a whole Secret Cinema section right here. So for like $10, $12, I got some plain white gloves and a fan. Then at the craft store, I bought some ribbon and some fake flowers. And voila! I was living my best life.
Oh wait, I gotta put my gloves on.
Hell yeah! Oh, yeah!
I'm a professional!
The website we were given access to beforehand had a bunch of really fun resources laid out in a really cute and simple way. They had a bunch of videos of the dances they were going to teach us in case we wanted to practice them in advance, a list of things that you could bring with you.
Dice. This is a LARP. The beer to crazy. Oh, okay, I guess we're singing.
And a little arts and crafts activity.
So in the show, I noticed that all of the, like, debutantes at the ball had what I thought might have been a very small purse tied around their wrist, but then I noticed that it was, like, paper. And I was like, did they put a price tag on these women? But it looks like they have it in the Choose Your Outfit. Your dance card will guide your guide through the night. Do not attend to the ball without them. Oh, they're telling us to like make our own dance card. We can like draw on it and stuff. That's so cute. The coloring book pages? Oh my god.
So Matt and I had a fun little date night doodling on our dance cards. Where is it? This mine. Got some washi tape and some lavender on it. I know what I'm about. So on this card, which you could wear around your wrist, they had a bunch of activities that you could do at the event. So this is all the dances that you could do. Write your dance partner's name next to each dance. Paint or pose for a portrait. Attend a choir practice. Learn a dance. Acquire a key. Play a game of chance. Uncover a secret. Pay a compliment to a stranger, which I thought was very sweet. Ask a stranger to dance. Write a poem for a friend. Meet the queen, which was a thing you could actually do. Become a friend of Lady Whistledown. Croupier's choice. I actually don't know what that one means. And I really like this because if anybody had the opportunity to get bored at this event, they could just check their little list of ball side quests that they could go on. Now, I shall retire to my powder room and prepare for the events of the evening. TikTok transition. Can I get a hell yeah? Well, I wouldn't be the diamond of the season by any means, but we couldn't curl every hair. We got stuff to do today. Is that thing playing SimCity? I'll never tell. Scandal. I'd be happy for like the marble slab of the season. So after spending an egregious amount of time curling my hair, only to have it all immediately fall out, we got to the train station and met up with our friends.
We've arrived at Wembley Park Station. Well, I don't want to film random people, but it's really cool because all around us there's a bunch of people like wearing cute costumes.
We got to the stairway we were told to go to and saw people decked out in full Regency gear, holding signs telling us which direction to start walking.
I have a feeling we're getting close, and they've told me when I can take my phone out and film, so to play it safe and not get yelled at, I'm gonna put everything away.
So we arrived at the entry point. There was actually a really cute spot where you could take pictures. I'm mad, I should have taken a picture while I was there.
I mean, I have time for a picture.
No, it's okay, I'm fine.
You had to show them your ticket, proof of vaccination, and a negative COVID test. So then we were all given what was essentially a little bag with a lock on it to put our phones into. I also had to surrender my camera, and I asked them when would I be allowed to film again, if at all, and they said, when you hear the song, It's Raining Men. That is the signal that the after party has begun, and then you can all come get your phones and your cameras. So after we got past the line, we entered what looked like a standard locker room. Everyone could choose a locker, put all your coats, your bags, and your phone pouch prison into there and come get it later. So I don't know why I skipped this part of the script. Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was anxious that day. Maybe I just forgot. But now you get to see that I have curtain bangs. So I think it's a win-win for all involved. So in the cases I've seen, these are usually the reasons that an experience will not allow filming or photography. 1. The experience is prioritizing historical aesthetic and does not want people whipping out technology. I do like this. It is nice to have a break from technology once in a while, and it does help me engross myself in a world when I'm not seeing a reminder of the one I have to live in. But again, you can only break the limitations that you set for a universe. So I have been to full fantasy events that will just build phones into the setting so that everyone can use them. So people were free to take pictures of each other, write things down, keep in contact with each other, check the time. I cannot tell you how many situations I've been in where a squire's like, the grand meeting shall be held at 3, and we're all like, great. When is 3? When is now? And he's like, I don't know. And we've had to run around trying to find somebody that spent $300 on Etsy on a timepiece just so we could know what time it was, and then completely forget it. And we don't know what time we're supposed to go to the grand meeting, so we miss it. It's dumb. So at the events where we have been allowed to have phones, it's just very convenient because then we can also whip it out and message our friend, hey, grand meeting at 3, so they don't miss it either. So there are pros and cons is what I'm saying. I'm also a big fan of events that don't allow filming for historical aesthetic, but have a time slot later for when you want to take pictures and videos, like the Bridgerton event did. Because people put a lot of effort into their costumes, the organizers clearly put a lot of effort into the sets. It'd be nice to have them immortalized a little bit. And also, people posting pictures they took themselves on social media is the most organic and effective marketing there is right now. I've done sponsored posts where they've asked me specifically to film it on my phone and not with my cameras. That's why you see so many ads on TikTok that's like, oh my god guys, I just tried this lipstick and it's the best thing in the world. And then you see like a little, this is an ad pop up. 2, filming would weaken incentive for people to buy tickets themselves. Think like live theater. This is another one I get, and as someone that has done live performance, it is nice when there's not a bunch of cameras in your face. I also understand the incentive thing, because part of why I bought a ticket for this is because I didn't know anything about it and I was curious. But part of why I do this is accessibility. There's this huge phenomenon where bootleg recordings of Broadway shows have made live theater accessible to a demographic of people that before couldn't afford to fly to a major city and get tickets themselves. You know, people who aren't healthy or aren't financially stable enough, and this was at one point an art form that was completely barred from them. So this one's muddy and nuanced, and I got mixed feelings about it, but this third option, don't have any mixed feelings about it. So remember how I said that allowing people to take pictures of themselves and post it was a really effective form of free marketing? The third thing, and the rare thing, that I've noticed at some events is they don't want free marketing. I've gone to a couple events that don't allow filming, and once it begins and it's too late, I horrifically realize why. There are cases where an event is overpriced or overhyped for what it actually is, and they don't want word getting out. And they usually say it's for one of the reasons that I've mentioned, and I'm sure they believe that, but I think, you know, in part, they might just want to keep the secret that their experience isn't very good. And because of the few experiences that I've had that turned out to be number 3, I was nervous. I had heard amazing things from a lot of different people, but I've met a lot of people that are also real passionate about those number 3 experiences, and when I disagree with them, I have to turn off Twitter for a while. But I am happy to report this was not one of those experiences. I think it was a combination of the first two. They wanted it to feel and look more Regency, but there was also a live performance element. And I do appreciate that they had time blocked off at the end for people to be able to take pictures and video. Okay. Back to the studio. This is all a lie, by the way. Stuffed my bra like a middle schooler. Now, this would be a good time to not watch this video. If you're in a position where you can attend this event yourself, I'd maybe go check out a different video of mine. I have this one about an event called Armistice Arcane, which is also Regency. It's based on Penny Dreadfuls, and it took place in a hotel in New Orleans, blah, blah, blah. It's where this dress is from. Ayo. I respect a strong brand. The secret cinema was very secret, and the mystery and surprise of it all did make the experience more magical. So if you don't want spoilers, I would encourage you to keep the secret, even though clicking off of my video halfway through kind of throws me to the algorithm wolves. But if you don't care about spoilers, want to know what you're getting yourself into, or are in a position where you can't feasibly attend this yourself, let's rock and roll. So this was the first of the no filming events that I attended, where I had a little notebook to take notes in to account for the fact that I have the memory of a goldfish.
I have written down notes, so I will pass them on at a time when I am not surrounded by lots of people, a couple of them looking at me, but that was great. That's my thoughts. We're gonna walk around a bit now.
I felt like a proper reporter. Like, huh, what's the scoop? At one point, one of the employees came up to me and she was like pseudo in character, and she was like, "Oh, I was just wondering if you're from a publication I might have heard of." And I was like, definitely not one you would have heard of. I think she just wanted to make sure I wasn't from like BuzzFeed or something. We're certainly not BuzzFeed. So we get in, and the initial big room had a couple decorated areas. Area 1 was a beauty salon where you could get your hair and makeup done for the ball. I believe it might have just been for VIP ticket holders. Then they had a photo booth, and something I thought was a fun detail, you couldn't see the actual camera, but what you could see was an old-timey picture box. Then, right beside the photo booth was a little gift shop where you could get prints of your photos. Where's mine? La Maison de Ton. Ta-da! Look at that. I look a little bit like a slug, but a very cute slug. Make all the boy slugs go. They didn't have versions that you could download, which is a shame. I'm gonna have to like scan this now. These are cute. It's nice to have a little keepsake from the amount of time it took me to get ready. You could also buy things like tiaras, jewelry, gloves, fans. So even if I had not bought the stuff beforehand, I could have bought it there. There's a couple flower crowns in there that I had my eye on. I remember I was watching the show and I joked with Matt, oh, I hope they announce our arrival like they do for lords and ladies during the ball scenes. And obviously they didn't announce us by name, but there was a little lady at the door with a triangle emulating announcing us for the ball, which I thought was very cute. Made me feel very noble walking in. Beyond that area was a bar that looked like it should have been filled with cigar smoke and brandy. And it was a functioning bar. You could buy drinks in it.
I know what my highlight was.
What was it?
Oh my god, my highlight was, it turns out over there, spins around and there's a secret room. There's like a
Wait, that's where the secret room is?
I was trying to find it all night. It was so fun. They were like, you have to put your hands on the table and the whole room started moving around.
That's so cool.
And then what was essentially a food court that they decorated to look like an outdoor garden. They even had like bird sounds playing as you walked through it. Me and Matt had some fries, chips. It was very good. The VIP ticket comes with a meal and a drink, but me and Matt brought our cards in and we were also able to just buy stuff there. It was a little expensive, not so much that I'd complain about it per se. Like the food was really good and it was very convenient that you could eat while you were there enjoying the event, but definitely expensive enough that I would recommend eating before you go if you want to save some money.
I'm gonna
You know
go.
what my highlight is? Everything really. The food is good. I had
The food
my
is,
sneaker
yeah.
on.
We had, what was it, vegan fries?
Yeah.
Listen,
Loaded vegan fries?
yeah, it was really good.
They're really nice.
Did buy myself 2 very expensive cocktails though. I was there to party.
Look at me filming in public. Like I said, I'm 3 drinks in.
Then beyond the food court was this huge and beautiful ballroom with a throne for the queen and balconies and a live string quartet. I was not expecting a live string quartet. There was also an art studio and a boxing ring, but these sets were both closed when we got our cameras back. They were arguably the most beautiful sets though. So, remember how I said I could not tell the difference between the Bridgerton brothers? Matt and I walked into the ballroom, and a man walked past us, and I immediately said, oh, there goes Anthony Bridgerton. And I was like partially joking because I had no idea what to expect. Like I thought it might have just been another attendee who looked a lot like Anthony Bridgerton. But I don't know if it was his costume or the way this man held himself, but he was a doppelganger of the eldest Bridgerton brother. So he looked like he was on a mission, so we followed him, and we found him gazing up to a balcony to another character. I was immediately like, oh my god, that's the opera singer. So that's when I realized, oh, they've got face characters here. I'm in Regency Disney World. Then a man in a very nice costume waddles on over to us and he's like, do you know who that is? That's Anthony Bridgerton. But who's that he's looking at? You should tell the Viscountess. And I don't know if y'all will ever understand the joy I felt when I realized this is a Bridgerton LARP. I have been given a quest.
That was the best LARP I think I've ever been to.
Also, the way he was speaking, they must have kept in mind that not everyone there would have seen the show. Like, it was a lot of, oh, this character is this, that character is that, and they have this relationship to this character. Matt had only watched a couple episodes with me at that point, but he said he never felt lost or like he didn't know what was going on or who people were. So they clearly made it accessible to people who weren't familiar with the show, or at the very least who didn't immediately clock Anthony Bridgerton. We also had a good deal of fun occasionally going, scandal, throughout the whole night. Scandal! Scandal! Because that's basically what all the plot points were. So this NPC told us that we should make the Viscountess aware that her son is making googly eyes at this opera singer. Scandal! And as we were running away, they also informed us that in the ballroom very shortly there will be quite a show. And I was so excited because the Viscountess Bridgerton was one of my favorite characters from the show, so I was very excited to meet her. But here's where I encountered one of the things that I didn't love about this event. A huge theme of Bridgerton is class inequality. Not being able to do certain things or go certain places because of economic imbalance. So when we were asking around about where we could find the Viscountess, and we were told, oh, she usually hangs up in the balcony. A place only VIP ticket holders can go. Bummed me out a little. When it comes to things like fast passes at theme parks, I don't get too sad about it because I know that the fast pass people and me are gonna get the same experience, they're just getting it a little faster. I also assume that maybe the fast pass people are only there for like a day and they want to get as much in as they can. So when I was gazing literally up towards the balcony, looking at the people who had bought the more expensive ticket than me, completing the quest and speaking to a character I was excited to meet, felt a little like a peasant. But there was a lot of things like this, where there were things that felt integral to the experience that I didn't get to do because I didn't buy the more expensive ticket. I thought the VIP ticket just meant you got food and a drink. Especially since, like, I'm from out of town, so I can't just be like, oh, now we know for next time. But there was plenty of things to do besides that, so I forgive. It just made me a little sad. They had a lot of other characters wandering around that you can interact with. Some of the more popular ones, like Daphne and the Duke, were always swarmed with people, but I had a very long chat with the Prince of Prussia, who was another one of my favorite characters.
That was my head.
You flirted with the prince?
Oh, same. I said that if you know wants to marry him, I will marry him.
Yeah.
Sometimes the queen would walk by and she would have like a royal posse who would encourage everyone to bow to her as she walked past. It was very cool and made me feel very immersed. And something like that is very tricky to do, make-believing power dynamics like that. I've seen stuff like that go way too far, and it's a fine line between making an attendee feel immersed in a world of hierarchy and making them actually feel belittled. But a very quick bow as she walked past just made me fangirl over the queen a little. I also at one point passed by some activity by her throne that she was running. So even if the NPC hadn't given us a hint that there was going to be quite a show in the ballroom soon, they had a loudspeaker that could give announcements to the entire hall, and they let us know that the show was about to begin. And that's when it became clear what exactly the secret cinema was. So I don't know if anyone here has been to a screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. If you haven't, would recommend. It's the only movie I've seen where chucking things at the screen is actually encouraged. But what they usually have is called a shadow cast. Live actors lip-syncing the scenes to the movie as it's playing. And that's what this show was. They had gorgeous projection screens moving around the ballroom as all of these doppelgangers made their way to a main stage and performed scenes from the first episode of Bridgerton. They also had like dance numbers and stuff. So throughout the night, they would perform highlights from the episodes on this big main stage where everybody could watch, and then in between would act out smaller scenes in the different sets. Like anything from the show that happened in the gardens would happen in the food court gardens. Anything that happened in the city would happen outside the bar. They even had some choreographed fight scenes, and have to admit, didn't know much about the secret cinema, but it did claim that it makes you feel like the show or movie is happening all around you. And it did. Even if you missed some scenes or the big shows or you didn't know where we were in the story, they handed out... Where is it? I literally just had it. I just had it! Aha! Lady Whistledown papers.
I found the final one.
Oh, you found the Whistledown?
Nice.
So for those of you that haven't seen the show, it's been jokingly called Regency Gossip Girl because the framing device is this gossip paper, narrated by Julie Andrews. So throughout the night, they were giving out these Lady Whistledown papers with updates on what scenes had happened so you knew where you were. Lady Louisa saw with her very eyes Anthony Bridgerton and Philippa Featherington getting rather close this evening. How scandalous indeed. They have the 7 dances on the back there, which by the way, forgot to put this in the script, they taught us these dances and they were super easy to follow. Like I was all nervous because we didn't get a chance to practice the videos of the dances before we went. But not only were there professional dancers there teaching us the dances, it was also a very just dance vibe. It was a lot of, and turn, and clap, and raise your hands up in the air, and turn, and clap. And gotta say, it was pretty cool to have an entire ballroom of people all mirroring each other. Like, I've been to many events that have huge ballrooms like this and dance classes and try to encourage everyone to dance in the ballroom like they do in the movies, and it never works out. Everybody's way too self-conscious, they can't remember the steps. This was the only time I've ever seen a whole ballroom full of people dancing in sync. I think this was a really good method. So one scene I thought was really cool is when we were all in the boxing ring. And this lady steps on top of the boxing ring and she's like, everyone, my children are trying to sleep, so can we all be very quiet so my children could sleep? And what was once a rambunctious party room, suddenly we were all like, shh, shh, shh. And when we all hushed down, the lighting changed and the sound of crickets came out of the speakers, and two characters stepped onto the boxing ring and acted out a scene that in the show happens at nighttime in the Bridgerton home. I just thought that was a very impressive method of crowd control and tone shift. It was very clever. Speaking of the boxing ring, it was one of my favorite places to hang out. The first time we went in, we walked in on some characters leading the whole room in a rendition of Crazy, like the Does That Make Me Crazy? Accompanied by a phenomenal live band. For those of you that are new here, I'm also a musician, not a great one, but I know enough to know when performers are playing live, and they were dancing at the same time, which is way harder than I think most people realize. It's kind of like tapping your head and rubbing your tummy, except you have to be completely in tune the entire time. I don't know how to describe it. They did an amazing cover of Bad Romance that I still think about to this day. So every time we walked into the boxing ring, it felt like there was something new happening. Like they had the live music, they had dance lessons.
Hello! May I ask you ladies what your highlight of the season was?
Mine was dancing, like we were in the bottom deck of the Titanic.
You danced on the wrestling ring? Is that what you would call it?
I got pulled up and I did a little jig. It was so fun.
There were actual fights that you could bet on. Matt placed a bet on a fight and got like a green card so they knew who he bet on. We lost though, so c'est la vie. Something else I found really cool for people who watched the show is when we were watching the fight, the person who lost stepped out of the ring and then got into an argument with someone who had bet on them. Like a character who had bet on them, not like an attendee, jeez. And I don't want to spoil too much of the actual show, but this was a conversation that in the show happened completely off screen. Like we just saw one of those characters and they mentioned that this took place. I just thought it was neat that we got to see this conversation like in the flesh when we didn't get to see it in the show. Anyway, the boxing ring. It was also one of my favorite sets. They had a microphone that came down from the ceiling and seats all along the walls, like in the boxing ring from the show. And because of the seating, it was a great place to rest your legs, finish your drink, eat your food, and there seemed to always be some sort of entertainment happening in there while you were sitting down. One of which was a push-up competition to win keys. Which brings me to the next thing I think could be improved. So Matt was really excited about the gambling, and we spent a lot of time hanging around the gambling tables in the bar waiting for somebody to show up so we could play a game. So when there was finally somebody there and the crowd wasn't awful, we walked up and asked if we could play a game, and the man said, "Oh, you can play, but you need to place bets using keys." And I was really confused at first, like, keys? But then I remembered on the list of things that you could bring with you, keys was one of the items. But at the time, I didn't know what that meant. It wasn't very clear that this was a currency in the game. And I remember brushing it off, thinking, oh, well, it's probably gonna get explained to me at the event because asking people to get keys cut just for the evening seems impractical. And there's no way that they'd be asking us to do that. And maybe some information got lost in the shuffle here. But I think that is exactly what they wanted you to do. Where does one get a key cut that you could just give away? It wasn't an employee. It was one of the friends that I was there with did tell me, they're like, oh yeah, you were supposed to like bring keys with you. But was I just supposed to go to the UK version of Canadian Tire and just buy a bunch of like blank keys? Let's just say you weren't supposed to bring keys with you. There were ways that you could get keys. My friends Kelsey and Abby got a key from a character. I imagine like when we were supposed to go tell the Viscountess about her son, she would have maybe given us a key. You know, if we could get up to the VIP box. You could have gotten a key from the push-up competition. But we spent so much time just running around to all of the characters, asking them where we could get a key so we could just play this gambling game. And they'd always be like, key. No, I don't have a key, but perhaps this character has a key. And then we'd run to that character and they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I just gave away my last key. So there was like a good chunk of our evening we were just running around trying to get the thing we needed so we could do what we actually wanted to be doing. And guess what? We never ended up getting to do it. We never found a key. And it felt a little like they just didn't have enough keys. Like I thought that maybe they would just have like a bunch of 3D printed keys that they could just give to whoever. But I never even saw a key. You know what? I'm not even convinced keys existed. Like I wonder if they told you to bring your own keys because they didn't have enough to give out. Which doesn't surprise me because it was packed in there. Like, I'm glad their COVID restrictions were so strict because this was the biggest crowd that I had been in years. Like, in order to see scenes that were happening, I sometimes had to, like, stand on my tippy toes to see over the mob of people, which must have been a little awkward for the actors because they're trying to perform a scene and they're, like, swarmed with people. We went into the art studio room once and I saw that it looked like there was some kind of drawing activity. Like, there was a bunch of attendees at different easels drawing, and I really wanted to do that. I like to draw. But it was so packed in there, like we were shoulder to shoulder, that I had to leave right away because I was like claustrophobic. That was another thing that I wanted to do that I didn't really get to do. So it just felt like there was too many people and not enough resources for everyone to get the same experience, even though there was a paywall for parts of it. You know these lady whistledown papers I was talking about earlier? These were impossible to get a hold of. But I was like, I got a video to make. I'm not walking away from here without one of these bad boys. My friends had grabbed one from a face character and I asked if I could have one, and I think you might have had to buy them with keys too. So I forget what I said, but I ended up like role-playing with this face character in order to get a whistledown paper from them. I might be wrong, but I did kind of get the sense that I was not the first person that she had to turn down that night. She might have started to feel a little bad. But yeah, I just wish they had some more of these printed out so that I didn't feel like I had to fight for it. We still had a good time despite all of this, but to this day, when I bring the key thing up to Matt, he will get sad because he really wanted to gamble and he didn't get to do it. This event is still absolutely worth going to. I just hope that for future events, they have maybe a little less people per night, maybe a little more keys. I still felt very cared for, like, throughout the whole night. Something I felt worth noting that a friend of mine who goes by, a delicate online, had a burn on their finger that they had gotten before coming to the event. And I was hanging out with her and she was just like, oh yeah, like one of the employees just went to go get me a band-aid for my wound. I don't know whether that was because they were worried about her and wanted her to have a band-aid, or because they wanted to keep their sets clean and sanitized. Either way, it's impressive to me. And then, after a fun-filled night, the doppelgangers went to the main stage, performed the last episode of season 1, and It's Raining Men came on the speakers. So after all of the like shadowcast live performance stuff, they shut down some of the areas and just started playing pop music, and it was basically just like Regency prom. So all the footage you're seeing is from the after party. We were all allowed to grab our phones and our cameras and take pictures of each other. And after that, you could just party until it was time to go home. So, final thoughts. I know that it feels like at the end of every video, I'm like, this was one of the best experiences I've ever done. This is up there. I mean, I have issues with it, like the paywall and the crowd control and the goddamn keys, but they are clearly working with one hell of a budget. And it is really cool to see my newsfeed constantly filled with all kinds of people going to this thing. Like, they have LARPers and fashion influencers and drunk bridesmaids, and a lot of people who have never done anything like this before. They've really managed to make this immersive experience palatable, marketable, and accessible to all kinds of people. Just maybe try not having them all in the same room on the same night. They managed to bring the show to life in a lot of ways that I did not anticipate or expect, and they made it all very entertaining and feel very interactive. And we do love an excuse to get dressed up that's friendly to our schedule and budget. It felt like a party, it felt like a live show, it felt like a LARP. There was truly something for everyone at this event. Like, this is something I could see bringing my parents to, and they might enjoy it. Secret Cinema, you are the diamond of the season to me.
Abby was like, this is the time to get good content when the tube is entering. Do you need help? When's the album dropping though? But did she have a rum? The world, the Tom may never know.
Who knows? Thank you to the Secret Cinema. You ran an incredible experience that I would easily recommend. You are one of the most professional companies that I've had the honor of attending an event of, and this bucket list item definitely did not disappoint. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matt, for grabbing some pictures of me and being my date to the ball.
There's Matt.
Hello.
You are a choice suitor and own my heart. Thank you to all my friends that hung out with me that night. All of their handles are appearing here. Very cool that I got to party with people who inspired me in my own content creation journey. I have a lot of memories watching these ladies and being like, maybe I should start a YouTube channel. They're all very talented and make a lot of cool things. And this is Sparkles, who I got to hang out with in person for the first time, but you might know them as the producer of the Everybody Wants to Rule the World cover from the Efteling video.
I love seeing how everyone like is dressed up, like just being somewhere where everyone is like in.
Was I in that video the whole time in the background, like looking weird?
Not the whole time!
Start again.
Sorry. Thank you to my Patreons. I've been dealing with a lot of health problems since quarantine started, like physical and mental, and my life was thrown into a lot of chaos, and because of my support on Patreon, it gave me a lot of space and time and resources to figure out some medical mysteries, you know, help me get back up on my feet. But also, they make videos like this happen. I have been editing the first part of this full-time for the last week, and still being able to take care of myself properly because of you guys. Your support to me means more than I think I can properly communicate. Thank you. You really saved my life in a lot of ways, so I don't know if I'll ever be able to thank you in ways that I can properly communicate, but thank you. And thank you to you for reaching the very end of this video and helping me appease the algorithm queen. Algorithm Lady Whistledown is very impressed. I am so tired and so hungry. I think I'm done. If I forgot anything, I'll put it here. Yay. Oh, my ribbon is like not on the hemline at all, is it? Oh well.